It's time for the top 3 waiver wire pickups for NFL Week 10 right here, right now. Coop, top 3 waiver wire quarterbacks. Joshua Dobbs, Minnesota. Taylor Heinicke out of Atlanta. Gardner Minshew of Indianapolis.
When I look at that list, I actually kind of like all of them, but Joshua Dobbs, you have to go out and drop the bag on this guy. If you lost Anthony Richardson, if you lost Kirk Cousins, this is your opportunity, because we watched this guy with the Cardinals. He was running the ball. He was firing it around. He was throwing to the tight end a ton. Trey McBride got 14 targets in his last game there. Now he gets a tight end upgrade. He came out and ran the ball last week 7 times for 76 yards, had a touchdown, threw for 2 touchdowns without even knowing the plays. It turns out that this guy's a rocket scientist. Just imagine him going from driving this beat-up Honda Civic, now he's driving a Lamborghini. Eventually, Justin Jefferson could be back, and he's going to have the keys to one of the best offenses in the league. So Joshua Dobbs should be on waivers in 0 leagues right now.
All right, top waiver wire running backs right now. Top 3, Keaton Mitchell from Baltimore, Zach Charbonnet from Seattle. How about Leonard Fournette from Buffalo?
When we talk about who should be adding which guys, if you need somebody to start right now, you can't add Leonard Fournette, but I like him as a stash. Keaton Mitchell and Zach Charbonnet, these are the exact kind of guys that you need to be adding because they're young, and there's been talk about them all throughout the offseason. It's not like they're coming out of nowhere and the starters just kind of hurt and it's just a who's next type of situation. Zach Charbonnet has earned that password. And this week, Kenneth Walker, another week away from the injuries, he played all the 2-minute drill snaps again. In fact, he played so many of them, he played more snaps than Kenneth Walker. And Keaton Mitchell is just a matter of, you look at the speed this guy has, you look at Devon Achane and what he does, and you look at J.K. Dobbins and how he operated this offense. He had so many of these like big 70-yard touchdowns. You have to give a shot to a guy like Keaton Mitchell because we know what Gus Edwards is, we know what Justice Hill is, but we don't know what Keaton Mitchell is, and we don't know what he could be. So
the top 3 waiver wire ads for wide receivers right now. Coop, Quentin Johnston from the Chargers, Tank Dell out of Houston, and how about this? Demario Pop Douglas, ya boy, Coop, out of New England.
Pop. Yeah, Pop is more of a full PPR type player. Same with Tank Dell. Quentin Johnston, first round pick coming out. Obviously, they love Josh Palmer, and when Josh Palmer's healthy, he could get that job back, but Palmer's on the IR now. Quentin Johnston yesterday had arguably the most difficult assignment that you're going to have. You can't really judge them based on the game last night because the Jets, they run 70% of their snaps are zone. DJ Reed, Sauce Gardner, they only stay on the outside, and that's where Quentin Johnston had to live. So he had the toughest possible assignment, and he still looked okay doing it, and they were willing to throw him the ball. So moving forward, this guy's going to be on the up and up. Trey Palmer, I think he's still an injury away to a Chris Godwin or a Mike Evans from really being relevant, but he's getting a decent snap share, playing a huge chunk of snaps, so he's not bad there. And I also want to throw one more name out there for the real deep leagues out there. Rookie Cedric Tillman from the Cleveland Browns. They traded Donovan Peoples-Jones away because they weren't really using him. He was playing a ton, but he wasn't getting a lot of targets. They looked at their depth chart and said, hey, you know what? DPJ is not really doing anything here. We can fill that role with somebody else. In comes Cedric Tillman. He played more snaps than Elijah Moore and just as many as Amari Cooper. He's the new DPJ. He's going to play a full snap share in dynasty leagues and deeper keeper leagues. He's a guy you got to keep an eye on.
Top waiver wire ads at the tight end position. What does the tight end whisperer have to say about Luke Musgrave out of Green Bay, Cade Otton out of Tampa Bay, Jonnu Smith out of Atlanta?
If Christian Watson is out for extended period of time, I know he's dealing with a back situation, possibly a concussion. If he's out, then Luke Musgrave's the guy. But Cade Otton, there's no difference right now in what Cade Otton's doing than what you would get from a Dallas Goedert. And I know Dallas Goedert broke his arm, but he was the third fiddle on a team, but he played virtually every snap. Cade Otton, the last 2 games, they've dropped back to throw 90 times. This guy's run 84 routes. In the last 3 games, he's had 6, and now 9 targets this week. Cade Otton is as dialed in as it gets. And God forbid something were to happen to Mike Evans or Chris Godwin. Now he is in a position to have true difference-making upside, as we've seen Dallas Goedert have when A.J. Brown or Devonta Smith are out. So Cade Otton is actually the guy that I'm prioritizing this week.
There you go. Those are your top waiver claims at each position. Again, the waiver wire article over at fantasyalarm.com. It's done by Britt Flynn. If you're following her on Twitter and X, then you know it's at Britt_Flynn, Flinn. If you don't follow her, you're just doing it wrong.